Hello and welcome to the Program Management in the Art of Communication Certification Program. We're in our fifth course, Storytelling that Delivers Program and Project Outcomes. And in our first week, we're talking about the structure and components of stories. In our third module, we're going to talk about how to structure your stories. So as we know, humankind has been telling stories for many ages. And for thousands of years, we've heard different stories in different cultures. And some of the ancient Greeks, some of the great ancient Greek scholars put together some ideas on how stories should work. And even though it's still 2,000 years old, Aristotle's three acts model is something that we follow today in building our stories. Of course, we have the introduction. And this is where we have the rise. So again, think about the hero's journey. This is where we are in the ordinary world. We hear the call to action or to adventure, and then we take off and go into, from that introduction, we take off and go into that new adventure. And then we have some tests, some ordeals, and we get the climax of the story. So we're here at the big test. We got the big boss fight going on. And with this, we have the fall. So it looks like everything is dark, everything is going bad. It looks like all is lost. And then we have the conclusion where the hero rises up at the end and saves the day and goes back to the ordinary world wiser and with a reward. So that is the common structure for many stories out there. And of course, this has been experimented on a lot, and there's all kinds of different alternatives to this. But in most cases, people, when they hear a story, they want to hear a beginning, middle, and an end.
Hi, I hope you're enjoying this free lesson from the University of Maryland's Project Management Center for Excellence. If you want to check out more lessons just like this one, click the link in the description below where you'll be able to go to our website on executive project management. There, you can find edX courses, professional short courses where you can learn from an instructor like me, as well as request custom team training for you and your organization. All right, let's get back to the lesson, and I'll see you at the end.
As I've said before, scholars of stories and storytelling differ on how many universal stories there are out there. There is an agreement that a hero's journey is pretty universal to all cultures and all ages. And then you have, well, there's some other stories that are pretty universal, but not in all cultures, not all ages. Okay? So we have the first type of story, the underdog story. And you're probably familiar with this one, where you have someone from humble beginnings or has a lot of, fates against them, and they manage to persevere and triumph, and they manage to go from their humble beginnings and to become a powerful and hopefully wiser person. There's the quest. Basically, we're on a search for something. This is like the hero's journey. There can also be some variations on that makes it a little bit different from the hero's journey, but essentially it's the adventure. We have the journey return. So if you're familiar with the ancient Greek, the Odyssey, this is the tale of Odysseus coming back from the Trojan War, trying to make his way home. And because he angered the gods, they make him travel through all kinds of horrific disasters and fates against him. And it's about a 10-year journey to get back home to his family. There's comedy. We're all very familiar with the comedy stories. Hopefully you won't have too many of these when you're working with your projects and programs, but we do know how that's set up. And these are fun little stories sometimes to help give people lessons learned and to help with morale. There's tragedy. You're probably familiar with Shakespeare's plays. Every culture has some kind of tragic tale that's just, very symbolic of their culture, very symbolic of the history. We have the rags to riches. Again, it's a lot like the underdog, but in this case here, it's a more modern kind of tale. Kind of came around in England. You may be familiar with Charles Dickens' tales, where you have this orphan or someone who had grown in bad circumstances, and then they discover they're actually heir to some kind of great fortune, and that's how they go from rags to riches. And then there's the rebirth stories, where you have people that they go on a quest, they go on to maybe a journey in return, and in this, they are transformed. So in some cases, the hero literally dies and then comes back and is reborn with greater power. No matter the type of story you're going to tell, all stories have universal story components. They have characters. Who's the hero? Who's the villain? Who are the people that may be hurt by the villain? Who are helped by the hero? There's all kinds of characters in your story. You also have the context for your story. Where and when did this occur? That's very important because your audience needs to know the context, the setting, so they can basically understand the world they're going to be in and how things operate in that world. Should have a beginning, middle, and end. And at the heart of all stories is a problem. What is the conflict? What's the issue? What's the challenge that our hero has to face? And how does our hero or team of heroes resolve that problem? How do they handle that challenge or issue? I hope you've enjoyed learning how to structure your stories and how this helps you make better stories and learning the structure and components of stories. So I hope you've enjoyed our 5th course, Storytelling that Delivers Program and Project Outcomes.
Hey there, did you enjoy that lesson as much as I did? If you did, go ahead and give us a like. If you want to see another one, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, put them below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Moreover, is there somebody in your life who really needs this lesson right now? If so, go ahead and share it with them. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Now, we look forward to seeing you in the next lesson where you can learn even more from the University of Maryland Project Management Center for Excellence. Thanks so much.